Welcome back to Switch to Linux. So I have a little different system set up here. What I wanted to do is a rehash of the elementary OS system. So I have a mic over here. I have the camera this way, which is not kind of attached to the monitor. So I'm kind of going to be looking a little off to this way here rather than looking at the camera more as we go through our video. So what we're going to do is have another look at elementary OS. This time I installed it natively on the computer rather than running through a VirtualBox. So if I look at the comments that I had received on the elementary OS, like my original Ubuntu video, a lot of people hated it. It's kind of like the Mac fanboys now seem to all be following elementary OS. We have elementary OS fanboys too. And I gotta say, if you use elementary OS and that is your desired distro, great, that's awesome. And that's the cool thing about Linux is you can make stuff your own. You can make stuff work. And, we each can choose our own distros. If you follow my video, you know my favorite distro is Linux Mint Cinnamon, but I also have a lot of respect for Ubuntu. I have a lot of respect for, the KDE desktop, which I'm running on this computer. You can sort of see, I'm just kind of pulling up the video here. So we have 34 likes and 28 dislikes on that video, 40 different comments on there. And so, it was not a video, I think, that a lot of people liked. And there were some things that some people said that were, hey, I did not know that, and I learned a lot. But then there were some things that, I don't know. And I encountered a post looking up some things because I decided to jump in and look into a few of the various items that annoyed me about the system the first time. Of course, I start talking, and here's the cat. There you go. Here, I'll bring the cat up. See, you cannot possibly dislike this video now. Okay. Well, maybe you can. All right. But anyway, I'll let you see something too. Since it is still technically Valentine's Day, at least for another 50 minutes. This cat has so much love. He actually has a heart on each side of his body, and I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but he's got a little heart there. And if you spin him this way, he's got another little heart over here. So this kitty has so much love that they gave him 2 hearts on his outside too. All right. So anyway, what I did here is I installed elementary OS onto a hard drive on the big computer. Because, a lot of people are like, VirtualBox doesn't work right. It doesn't give you, a true picture. And honestly, if you have a good distro, no, VirtualBox gives you a perfectly fine picture. But it's like elementary OS is not a distro for prime time. And another reason I really wanted to bring it up and talk about it again, this time installed on a native system, is there was a video, and I totally forget who did the video. But the person gave a list of what they think are going to be some of the top distros of 2017. And people are saying elementary OS is going to become a really big distro, and some people even say it's going to bypass Mint. And I have to say, not a chance. There is not a chance elementary OS is going to bypass Mint. So coming over here at DistroWatch as of right now, Mint's still going up, and elementary is still in 6th place, so it has a very respectable position. Of course, looking at the gap, even Mint to the next highest, there's a massive gap in popularity. And I got to thinking about this today, and I said, what is it? What is it that makes Mint so popular? Well, there's several things. we're going to have a look at OS browser stats right now. Now, there's a couple different places you can grab browser stats. Actually, Stat Counter might be a good one, too. I'm going to look at these two. I usually look at this one. I have found that a lot of these systems do not do good up-to-date. So Stat Counter probably does. And I just want to have a look at what the popular browsers are. This is another thing about this. I mean, we're even, like, right now, we're running a little bit sluggy here. So they're saying 48% of people are using Chrome. The next highest is that Safari the next highest? I do not believe that. Maybe other. No, that's dotted. Safari as other, and then Firefox. So this is what they're saying. What I actually wanted to have a look at is the OS market share. So let's have a look. So you can see the OS market share is going down. They include Android on here as well. Android, as of January of this year, Android and the Windows platforms are much the same. iOS is up here, so there's your iPhones. Here's your Mac. Linux is still down here near the bottom. And it looks like it's not moving a whole lot on this chart, so that's neat. But look at this. Windows, looking at just the desktop, and I wish I could see just the desktop OSs. But Windows is here. Mac is the pink line here, and Linux is this line here. All right, so let's go and have a look at W3 Schools. So here is Windows 10. Windows 8, Windows 7, Vista. So basically all the Windows taken together looks like about 30, 60, about 70, 75%. Linux is about 5%, Mac is about 10%. So you have this balance here. It looks as though the majority of computer users are still on Windows. Shocking. All right. And a very small amount of people are on Mac. And I would say that the percentage of people on Mac that are going to switch from Mac to Linux is probably going to be fairly low because the Mac base tends to keep its users. Let's have a look at this last one here. Oh, this is the one that I can never get good dates and times and stuff on this chart. I've seen this one before. Where again they're saying Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, about 75%. I guess theirs are about as accurate as the stats. It's just displayed a different way. I wasn't sure if this was up to date though, is the problem. Oh, it is. Okay, January 2007 up here. Okay, 2017. Wow. Time warp. All right. So the majority of people are on Windows, and Windows base is kind of irritated its customer base, and you either move to a Mac or you move to a Linux. And the thing is that Linux Mint, not only is it set up much like a Windows platform, which means it's more comfortable for a Windows user to get into, but it just works out of the box. Okay? And I cannot say that for elementary. Okay? So just in getting this set up, it took me about an hour to get things installed. I had to fiddle with the system for about another hour to get it to the point where we can actually show video. The thing will not work with my graphics card. Boot up, goes into a black screen. So that is why, by the way, I keep my integrated graphics on. I set it to whichever port it detects a video at, it will boot that port up as the primary display. And so when I run into a distro that loads into a black screen, which happens every now and again, I just swap to the integrated graphics card. So I had to swap from my 4 gigabyte onboard graphics card to a 1 gigabyte integrated graphics card on my motherboard. So that's fine. But the system is still being extremely buggy for me. And I'm running a Core i5 35K processor with there's 8 processing cores here and 32 gigabytes of RAM, and the system is still actually running a little sluggish for me, which to me is weird. I could blame that sluggishness on a VirtualBox, but maybe is it the Core i7 or Core i5, whatever it is I have in here. So does this system work well with a Core i5? Maybe that's the case. It does not like my graphics card, so I had to move to use my integrated graphics card. Still very buggy. Is it the hardware? Well, you can check the video with it talks about my computer build. Tell me if my hardware is incompatible. And frankly, the updates, I wanted to push the updates, and then I stopped because the updates were kind of like they were about as slow as Windows 10. I sat here, I hit update all, and I'm sitting here for at least 20 minutes, and the first update hasn't even processed. That's like Windows 10. You go in there, you push the update, and an hour and a half later, it's like it's sitting here spinning. It's like, is it stuck? Is it not working? Is it broken? I don't know. So some other things from the original video, and I'm just going to look through the comments here a little bit. Obviously, I commented on can't minimize, maximize, and about umpteen bajillion people reminded me, oh yes, you can do that. You can click on these. So yeah, I can minimize and maximize by clicking on the buttons here. And that is still, to me, a little bit on the frustrating side because I like being able to close the window up here. It's fine if I can click down here. At least there's a way to minimize it, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an option to add a minimize button. So I did some hunting around. And then it came to me, what is your difference between your iPhone users and your Android users? This was a funny observation when I first switched from Android to iPhone as my basic phone system. You look something up on an Android phone on a forum, and you get some fascinating, try this, you can try this, you can try this. Ooh, that's a neat idea. Let's try this, let's try this. You get community dialogue. You look up the same exact question for an iPhone. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? Apple has it perfect. You should do it. Dude. It's like, what are you smoking? And so I kind of, and the only reason I bring that up is this was quite hilarious. Okay, can I find where my bookmarks are? All right, somebody help me out with my bookmarks here. I actually hate this web browser, but I decided to just go ahead and run with it. It might be one of the ones I have here. Let's see. Okay, so I think this was a previous version of... Is this it? No, that's the same one. See, I bookmarked this page. Now let me try... Okay, there we are. No? See, I was on a page and I bookmarked it because I wanted to see it again. And I don't think that's it. Bear with me while I find this thing. Because it was the funniest response. It was exactly like looking up an Apple question. I guess it is this one. I'm sorry. It is the one I had open here. All right, let me close these two. All right, so how can I get the minimize button? Now, mind you, this is a previous version of Elementary OS. Okay, I'm a longtime Windows user, and I can't for the life of me understand the rationale behind not having a minimize button. What is the reasoning for this decision? Is there a way to get the minimize window control button? Here's the answer somebody gives. Apps designed for Elementary OS save their state and open and close instantly. In this way, there is a functionality little difference between close and maximize. You can read more about the rationale on the Elementary blog. There is also a follow-up post. There is still a way to minimize an application in Elementary OS. You can click the app's icon. Okay, fine. Consider simply closing the app. Okay, fine. Use multitasking tool. You use the shortcut in the dock. For the love, would you answer my question? I want minimize button on my browsers. I'm sorry for those people on headphones. I get criticized for that. Ugh. It's like looking up something about an apple all over again. So, of course, they have this script for Windows-like layout. You can do this, which I did. No minimize or maximize buttons. I thought, maybe you should log out. So I logged out, logged back in. No minimize, maximize buttons. Yeah, pull up OBS, make sure I'm still in the screen after that. All right. Shut down the computer, restarted it. No minimize, maximize buttons. Of course, none of the apps that are built in have minimize or maximize buttons. Let me just load some stuff up. Okay, see how long it's taking to load this thing up? This is a Core i5 with 8 threads and 30 gigabytes of RAM. My music player has still not launched. Music player, video player, photo, anything? Oh, there it goes. Now it's launching stuff. Okay, do you understand on my Linux Mint Cinnamon, the same exact computer, when I pop the hard drive in here on Linux Mint Cinnamon, if I click a browser, it opens in a second. If I click an app, it opens in a second. Oh, no minimize, maximize buttons. Close. Please. It's still open, by the way. Close. What are you doing? Oh, finally closed. All right. Now, external applications. So the built-in ones, they don't get minimize, maximize buttons. But your built-in applications, now OBS, or your external applications, OBS does actually have minimize and maximize buttons, which is good because they're like, the rationale, if you close it, it saves the state, blah, blah, blah. I bet if I closed OBS right now, the video would not still continue recording. And that brings me to another thing. Do you know how you install OBS on an Ubuntu computer? Well, you have to go and you have to install a PPA. The elementary OS platform does not allow you to install a PPA by default. You have to install another program to enable you to install PPAs, and then you can install your PPAs and then install your OBS. Is this done updating? See, look at this. It is still at the same place. What is this, Windows 10? I don't know if I should click the X button and close it or just minimize it. I'm just not sure. It appears as though my oh, there it goes. Okay. See that delay? Why is there delay? What is delaying the system? I can't say it's this thing here. When I'm running a live stream video, I have like 2 monitors running. I have OBS on a screen, my chat window, the chat program, the IRC chat program. There's something else. I think there's 5 things inside of this window. And then everything else going on the other screen. And I still click an icon and it opens right up. I still can't change the theme. I still can't change the icons. Of course, one person over here said that there is a tweak tool you can add. So I actually looked for information on adding a tweak tool. That was this one here. They actually give you this add a repository, which of course you have to install the ability to add a repository first, and then do the update, and then install the elementary tweaks. The elementary tweaks is no longer found. So this is no longer an option for you. So this is clearly something people have asked for and is no longer in here. So you can see here that this is the same view we saw in OBS. It just doesn't seem to work for the integrated programs and applications. Let's have a look at the files, see if they're on the files now. Are we opening files? 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 Files, where are you? I think it crashed. Oh, wait. Why did it take that long to open my file menu? And I don't have any buttons at this point, apparently. Or icons. Maybe it's because we're updating something. I don't know. Of course, this might be Windows 10. I might just need to leave the thing on all night updating. I don't know. So people are saying this runs fine in 2 gigabytes of RAM. Was that the previous version? Was it Loki? This is the latest version. You can minimize it off the screen. Let's see. Yeah, lots of people pointed that out. And again, I mean, this feels a little bit like elementary bashing, but there's no reason under the sun that this distro should run like this on this computer. Oh, okay. I can still close it. I just, do that. And what is this? What's it doing? I haven't a clue. So I wonder if you're using elementary and it's working very well for you, what version are you working on? Are you working on Loki or are you working on something else? This is the stable release. And another comment that I had before, I can't do anything with the desktop. The desktop is absolutely nothing except a picture to look at. And somebody had said in there that you can install the elementary tweak tools and allow working off the desktop. Apparently you cannot install the elementary tweak tools anymore. So let me know if that's still an option or not. Overall, I cannot recommend elementary. Is this going to overtake Linux Mint as one person projected? Not a chance. Linux Mint works out of the box. It works with all my hardware. It works with this computer. It works with this computer. It works with this computer. I installed it on a random USB drive, took it to a friend's house. It worked on all their computers except the one stupid Windows 10 computer that locked USB drives from loading in the BIOS for some reason. Works so on this computer. I mean, it works on every computer I've run it on. Something just happened. So, it won't work with my graphics card. It seems as though they've locked you from installing other external applications unless you, I had to install programs to be able to install a PPA to install the programs that I wanted. I was not able to find Simple Screen Recorder in the software repository. I don't think I was. Or was I? I can't remember. I'm not sure I'm going to try and look for it right now with all this still waiting in the queue. So, I guess the point is, I'm not saying that this distro is horrible, never use it, because I'm happy to support anybody, and I love the fact that they wanted to come out and they wanted to produce something, but I think if you're on a Mac and you want to switch over to Linux, this makes a logical choice. This or any GNOME 3 application, would probably work well for you. I think I like how this... I don't know which one I like better, actually. But all that being said, I'm not seeing a lot of functionality in here. I'm seeing the lack of ability to maximize Windows easily. I'm seeing a lot of the same stuff I saw Apple versus Android, on the phone base. You ask a question and this is, you don't get answers. You get, maybe I used the word propaganda. Of course, there's this option for installing those, which doesn't work. They need to add this type of stuff back in. We need to have this type of functionality before I'd call this good. Where did all my toolbars go? I don't know where they went. Maybe they're updating. I don't know. For the life of me, I cannot figure out why this is so high rated. I don't know. Now, obviously, a lot of people like it. I got a lot of thumbs down on the last video. I'll probably get a lot of thumbs down on this video too. That's fine by me. Obviously, a lot of people like it, but I want to know this. If you like Elementary OS, I would like to know what version are you running? Why do you like it? And do you have any issues with it, like we are looking at here? 'Cause this is weird to me. I mean, it seems as though it's not working right. Now, some of it, maybe getting these updates installed is going to fix it, but for the love, how long is it going to take to install this update? I started at the beginning of this video. It's 159.6 megabytes. I have a 30 Mbps connection here. Okay, this, I can do a speed test and show that my internet's definitely not my internet speed. In fact, let's see what happens if I try and run a speed test over here. I think that's where the new tab is, right? And I'm not even on Wi-Fi. I'm hardlined into the internet. Actually, we're not going to run a speed test. That'll display my IP address. Close. Jeez. Okay. For those that criticize the last video for being in a VirtualBox, this is not in a VirtualBox. This is on a beastly desktop computer with a Core i5 35, what is it? 30, I think a 3570K processor, 30 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM, and we're running on a USB 3 flash drive. The same exact flash drive, actually, I run my Ubuntu videos on. The same type of setup I have here, where this drive does advanced programming, okay? I know the system works. In fact, the same exact setup is this, where I frequently run OpenSUSE with Windows on top of OpenSUSE on a flash drive. It's not the fact we're running on a USB flash drive. In fact, a USB 3 flash drive is faster than a mechanical hard drive in this. It's not the speed of that. It's not a flashy new system. As somebody pointed out, the motherboard in here is fairly old. It's not a bad processor. It's a very good processor. The thing won't work with my graphics card out of the box. I can install the software I want out of the box without making a lot of adjustments. The updates seem to be stuck. That's why I use Linux Mint. Every computer I've ever put Linux Mint on worked. No issues, no problems. It just worked. Oh, sorry for another negative video on Elementary OS, but I did say that when I had this new computer build, I was going to run a quick distro review. I just kind of hit the highlights of the things that we had said in the old video. I'll link to the old video so you can see that as well. But I don't know. I think I'm done looking at Elementary OS until they get me another update. So with that being said, let me know what's going on. Why is this stuck? I have no clue. I was hoping for a better, positive, uplifting video. It was either this or, hey, now technology has been discovered that browsers can track you even if you use different browsers. They can cross you across browsers now. That was in the fun tech news today. And of course, the other fun one is that Windows Patch Tuesday didn't actually patch on Tuesday. Somber day. Well, with that, this is Tom. I hope you enjoy switching to Linux. I'm just not sure I'd recommend you switch to Elementary. I'm sorry, Elementary team. I mean, I don't loathe this. It just, Why is it not working on this hardware? It's got to be hardware compatibility issues, but it's not like if I were running the absolute latest bleeding edge everything, we'd have something to talk about. Okay, why will it not work with a multi-year-old Radeon graphics card? I don't think the graphics card itself is super old, but it's not exactly some new architecture. Okay, this is what I'm running. If you can, let me pull this up so you can actually, in fact, I don't have a full screen there. This is the graphics card I'm running. It's not necessarily a good graphics card. I got it because it was cheap and it diverted system memory, you know, basically had dedicated video memory to it. That's why I picked that up. It's not necessarily a good card, but the drivers for that thing have been out for a long, long time. I can't use the computer with that card. Something seems to be goofy in the processor. I don't know what it is. Or whatever, because I'm getting a lot of bugginess in the system, and I should not be getting any bugginess at all. Now, maybe the bugginess that I'm seeing here, the similar bugginess may have been derived from the, you know, in the other one when I did the original video, it was still on a Core i5 processor. It was just, you know, on a laptop instead of on a desktop computer. But this is running a quad-core processor with 30 gigs of RAM, and it's still buggy for me, and it's doing weird things. It is hard-lined into an internet connection. Updates will still not run. I bet I will leave this system on overnight, and I could come back, and this thing, it's simply stuck. It's stuck. In fact, just for fun, I haven't updated this Linux Mint computer in a while. And by the way, this one's slow. The hard drive on this is over a decade old. It has read-write speeds of... Oh. I may not be able to update it. My keyboard here does not have the back panel on the batteries, and occasionally the batteries fall out. There we go. There you go, Linux Mint, KDE. Zooming along. Just about done. Done. Hadn't updated that computer for a while. That's why I use Linux Mint. Alright, enough of this. This has been painful. I'm sorry. For all the people that absolutely love this distro, what am I doing wrong here? Let me know. Anyway, this is Tom. I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.